terminated.
Dr. Phil, yes, that's what I'm saying.
There is no, if I need your help, I will come to you right quick. I want to be sure that I understand everything that's going on here. You've had your parental rights terminated.
Right.
Right, so it's not just that this is a custody situation. This has gotten so extreme that they have gone to court. Kim has adopted your son, and your rights to this child have been legally terminated, correct? You have to own some of this, right? You put yourself in harm's way here.
Yes.
You say they stole your son, but your other son was in state custody.
That's correct.
Because you were a drug addict.
Yes.
And you weren't in any position to be taking care of these children.
Right, that's right.
Okay.
But I did get sober, and I did get clean, and I fought to get my 3-year-old home.
And you're not using heroin now. You're clean now.
No, not clean. No. I relapsed right before the show, after having 10 months clean. Okay. They took him from me again.
Who took you?
I'm sorry.
Who took who from you?
Cody and Kim took Michael from me again. They dropped him off at my door last Friday and said that he was out of control and that they couldn't deal with him anymore. And so I was getting him in school, and we took him clothes shopping to get him ready, and then they took him from me right before the show.
And then what did you do? You say you relapsed?
Right before the show. Yeah.
What did you do?
I did some benzos and some...
Tell me what your thinking was, because you're coming here with what goal?
Just to get my son help.
Do you believe that your son's in trouble?
I mean, yes, I believe. I just can go off what they've said. I've asked them for medical records. They've not shown me any kind of medical record things. I don't know.
Well, something's going on.
Yes, something's
You agree
going on.
that he's not on a normal trajectory,
Yes.
a typical trajectory?
Yes, I do. I agree.
Okay, so something's going on.
Yes.
And you lost him. A contributing factor in you losing him was drugs.
Yes.
So you get to the cusp of coming to help.
Yes.
And you knew you were coming here when? Because you've done within the last 36 hours.
No, I have not done in the last 36 hours.
When did you do meth?
Right before I left.
Which was? 48 hours?
Yeah, about that. It was right. That's when they took him from me, though.
So you called me a liar for 12 hours? I think it was right after this argument that you taped and sent us this video. Let's take a look at this.
Yes, I'm calling you a liar. You keep saying that you're going to keep getting these medical records and all this stuff, but you have not. You've not produced them. I have no proof. You've not shown me any proof.
I'm trying to get that for you. Actually, the Dr. Phil show is the only one calling.
Quicker than us?
No, who got it quicker than us? Dr. Phil? No, that's what I'm saying. I don't have any help with this. No, Jerica, I've been doing this for 4 years.
Have them, they can get the medical records, but you couldn't.
Welcome to America.
Okay. So,
okay, welcome to America. I'm going to call this day.
do it. And you may have to go back with them, okay? But I'm not going to stop fighting. I'm not going to stop fighting. We'll get you help. We'll get you in somewhere we need to get you. But you're yelling. I'm not doing this.
Was the child standing there for this?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yep, there he is.
That's why I started taping it.
So you two were carrying on like this in front of the child?
I was calm. I was trying to get her to lower her voice.
Yeah, because you were taping it.
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, even if someone else was taping it.
Well, the person taping it usually is the calm one, because they know they're taping it. Did you do the drugs before or after this?
After. It's when she took him. After she took him.
Okay. Wow.
Kim manipulates people to think that my son is completely crazy. It's Kim that has diagnosed my son as psychotic, no one else. I think Kim exaggerates the truth because she's mentally ill herself.
Jerica says she is sick and tired of her ex-husband Cody's new wife Kim labeling her son Michael as a serial killer in the making. Kim and Cody say Jerica is not around to parent after losing rights, so she does not know that 8-year-old Michael has gone from a sweet child to a troubled boy who has tried to harm his baby brother and even kill chickens on their property.
When I adopted Michael, he was a sweet kid. We realized that there were definite behavior issues with Michael about a year ago. Michael bit his younger brother and a week later pinched him. Michael's behavior seemed to escalate. As his mother, I was really scared about why he would want to do these things. He started breaking his younger brother's toys. We started to get Michael into treatment, and what I found out was terrifying.
I felt shocked and I didn't really know what to think.
Michael drew pictures of wanting to kill his brother. Weeks later, we found bruises on Michael's young brother.
I couldn't understand why Michael would want to hurt his younger brother.
Michael even said to me, I just want to know what it's like to kill somebody. When I heard those words come out of my son's mouth, I was terrified. We were advised by therapists not to let Michael back in the house with his younger brother because he was on a mission to kill him. Eventually, we had to put our son in a residential treatment center for 6 months. While he was in treatment, he admitted to the doctors that he had killed 14 chickens with sticks and rocks. Everything seemed to come together. We live on a farm and we kept finding all these dead animals. I'm scared that this is a sign of him one day being a serial killer.
So, wow, okay, that was intense. So I guess we're gonna learn a bit more about this child. But in terms of the mother, Jerica, at first when she said she relapsed again, I thought she meant that she relapsed and then they took him from her after she relapsed, like in response to that. But it actually sounds like they gave her her son, and then after a certain amount of time, they just like took him back, like ripped him away from her. And then in response to that, she relapsed. So I find that very interesting, and I'd like to get more clarity on that. But I guess we'll learn more about that dynamic that they have between each other, the Jerica and then her ex-husband, his wife. We'll find more about that as we go along.
Okay, I want to make it real clear that I have one objective and agenda here, and that is the best interest of all the children involved in this situation. These children don't have a voice. They don't have an ability to stand up for and protect themselves. But you say that you fear that your son is a serial killer in the making. Tell me why.
I was told that by a therapist that he'd been seeing.
And did this therapist go into any explanation of why they would say that? And if so, what was it?
She went to visit him at the psychiatric hospital. Is that whenever she told us that?
Yeah.
She went to visit him in the psychiatric hospital after doing treatment for 3 months. And she called me and she said, I need to talk to you. This is dangerous. And she said, he's in there acting, he's conned us. He's in there acting like nothing is wrong, and just really scared us terribly. Just
Acting like a perfect child.
act like a perfect child, like he did nothing wrong, and he'd been very aggressive and angry. And
And what was her basis for saying that she felt like he was a serial killer in the making?
that he had drawn several, it was EMDR therapy, and he had drawn out several things about how he wanted to kill people and his brother, and how he always wanted to know what it was like to kill somebody.
I didn't know you could predict these.
Yeah.
I know we can look at characteristics that are common among those that have done it. I just didn't know you could predict that.
Yeah.
Because you could predict that, then we could stop it, and it would be great.
She did say if we corrected the behavior, he wanted power and control. That's what he said through every therapy. So she did say consequences to keep him from that. I hate to say she said he's going to be, but that was the road he was headed on.
I just think that's a huge leap to take. I don't know this woman, and I suspect she might characterize this with a bit more qualifications rather than absolute statements were she here. But I don't know her, don't know what she actually said, or what might have been lost in the translation. So she says you stole this child away from her.
Absolutely not.
And caught her in a down state and seized the moment, terminated her parental rights.
I was at her house and I found needles and a spoon and some kind of powder under the cabinet where Michael could reach it. So as soon as I seen that, I left, and I didn't have any contact after that with her. I didn't know what to say. I got a lawyer.
You were concerned, said, I want to get him out of here.
Yes.
Well, God bless you for doing that, because if she's on, whether it was around where he could find it or not, a heroin addict is not in a state of mind or condition to be raising a child, and you would agree with that, correct?
Yep.
So I'm proud of you for stepping up and removing the child from that dangerous situation. You did the right thing in that regard. But how did we get to terminating her parental rights and removing her from the child's life permanently, and then after he's having trouble, inviting her back in? How did all that come about?
Not inviting me, dropping him off with me.
No, we didn't
That's
just
not
drop him off with her.
Who changed the name on the birth certificate? Who changed the name on the birth certificate?
When I adopted him?
Yeah, she adopted him.
Your name was put on the birth certificate
Yes.
as his mother.
Yes.
I just never heard of that.
Because it's wrong.
How did that happen?
We were talking to the social worker that took her infant at the time, and he was in care, and I said, what do I do here? We had to sign a safety plan, and she said he was probably going to be adopted, and this was a few that Jerica was bad and would not get help and wasn't coming to see him. And
Are you kidding me? That's not true. That's not true at all.
So, in cahoots with
Lunatic.
a state official,
no,
y'all altered
full of it.
y'all altered a state record,
No, we
didn't alter it. We got a lawyer, and I adopted him.
right? And changed the birth certificate to reflect yourself as a biological parent.
Well, I was surprised they did that too, but that's what the state sent us.
Wow.
Listen, that's how I found out about them even getting close to adopting her. I had no idea about anything. They knew exactly how to get a hold of me, but they didn't.
No.
That's how she sent me the birth
we tried
certificate.
several.
A week later, when I found out about you with adopting him.
No, I just learned something every day. I just didn't know that this happened. So how did this come about?
Well, they contacted us and about the birth certificate, and just to get, since she was the adopted mother, then
So it was all legal and I
he
could make
needed a new birth
decisions.
certificate saying that she was the legal mother.
The Missouri adoption laws amending birth certificates, it says once the adoption is final, the child's original birth certificate is sealed and a new birth certificate is prepared upon which the adoptive parents appear as the biological parents of the child unless the adoptive parents request otherwise. Once the child is adopted, all relations and rights between the child and its biological parents are terminated, and the child is viewed legally as if it were the natural child of the adoptive parents. Specifically, the biological parents no longer have any rights to contact or receive information about the child. So there is an original, but it's sealed. Yeah. Well, that makes it tough to ever find for the child, but that's the Missouri law. Okay. So you went to all of that trouble to sever that. So why get back in contact with her?
She contacted me. Her girlfriend contacted me.
Okay. So why put her back into the child's life?
Because he several times.
We wanted Michael to be able to, get to know his mom because he didn't really. He was pretty poor when I took him away, and I wanted.
Why go to all of that trouble to cut everything off, change the birth certificate, terminate the rights, and then re-engage?
Because I didn't know that she would ever be off drugs, and I felt like he needed a stable mother that was going to be there.
She's not?
Well, yeah, she's there.
If this is a stable mother,
Yeah.
and you've got a child that has developed some problems, why re-engage this woman that you went to so much trouble to terminate and erase from this child's life? Why re-engage?
Because he does remember her, and he's angry at her, and he wants to be able to have some answers of why she did what she did. I mean, he's asked us several times, why was my mom on drugs?
This child was institutionalized for a week at one point, and then 6 months at another point.
Yes.
Did you discuss this with your therapist? What are your thoughts about re-engaging the birth mother?
Yes.
And what did they say?
He went back and forth on it, and he said he would talk to Michael. He talked to Michael, and Michael went back and forth. I want to write a letter.
You told me yourself that it was absolutely not okay for me to be back in the picture because after everything that you have said to him.
So soon.
And what did you do? You called me and you asked me to come and meet. Did I not go out to Dr. Phil, I went to the place that he was in, and I did therapy with them, with Cody.
Yeah. Yes,
okay.
she did.
After it was not okay that I was even in the picture, it was not okay for him because of stuff that she has told.
Why I made the
therapist.
decision.
I'm just saying, did you
You went against what
consult your therapist about this, and the therapist said, don't do it?
Yes.
Yes.
And you did it anyway?
Yeah.
She did.
No.
She didn't want anything to do with Michael because
She said
he's out
it's
of control.
No, she said it is
didn't want him back
because
in
Michael
your
did not
home.
want to do it, and he came to me and asked if he could make a phone call to his mom, and asked if they said it would be up to Michael.
What are you talking
the
about? You
therapist.
told me yourself that you forced Michael to call me.
No.
No, we didn't
You
force
told
him.
me. You told me that Michael did
I
not.
don't think she hears anything I say accurately.
Well, I'm not hearing
right.
anything either. I'm asking a question here. You're telling me the therapist said not a good idea.
Yes.
And then you did
No,
it anyway.
the therapist
Yes
said
or no?
The therapist said up to Michael, and Michael said no. And then he told me
Thank you. You just said
Yeah.
what I said.
that Michael said no.
Exactly, and the therapist.
Yes.
And you still made him call me.
And on a
You
weekend
still-
pass, he came to me.
On a weekend pass, he
Came to us.
came to us, and he said, I think I'd like
I
to call
think
my...
he'd been there like a week or two, and he'd.
So he's 7 at
You
the
don't
time?
even, like you're
Yes.
so.
Okay, so we've got a
Just be
professional
honest. It's
therapist.
all true. It's
We've got a
okay.
professional therapist
Like
and
you've been
1,
2
2,
years?
3
I've
adults.
been honest. I've been
Excuse-
honest.
Hold on. We got a professional therapist and 1, 2, 3 adults, and we're letting a 7-year-old make the decisions?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I was.
Yeah.
Agreed.
What could go wrong here?
Thank you.
So is Kim brainwashing Michael? I want to look at some excerpts from his journal when we come back.
Okay, so this is wild. It's definitely understandable that the child would want to reconnect with his mother, his birth mother. Of course, he's going to have questions and all that, but it sounds like at that point he was already having a lot of behavioral issues. So while on the one hand, it could be helpful and healing for him to connect with his birth mother and feel that sense of being wanted and loved by his birth mother, if she's a wild card because she is potentially still on substances or she had the potential to relapse, and he's already having these behavioral problems, it just seems like it would cause a lot of disruption. Plus, even if she's perfect and not dabbling in anything and she's ready to dive in there, even just introducing him to her again at that point could still cause disruption just because of his age and the behavioral issues he has. I'm curious about why this even started in the first place. Why was he having an urge to draw images of harming people and saying he wanted to know what it feels like? Did this get triggered by the separation from him from his birth mother in the first place? Or did he experience any trauma before the separation, since she was probably high all the time? I don't know, but it's very sad.
I think I'm a good mom because I don't know. I've had some serious issues in my past, and I know that, but I'm sober now.
Yes, Jerica might be off drugs now and sober, but she's missed so much of Michael's life.
I know I would be a better mom than Kim because I'm raising my 3-year-old, and he's healthy, he's happy, he's amazing.
If Jerica thinks that she's a good mother, she's kidding herself.
You told me I was a good mom. What are you talking about?
Cody's claims his ex-wife, Jerica, was such a bad mom that he had to pull their 8-year-old son, Michael, out of her home. Jerica's parental rights were later terminated, and Cody's new wife, Kim's name, was placed on the birth certificate as mother after she legally adopted Michael. So when you do get back in his life, you're going, great, right?
I mean, it was the best day of my life. It was the best thing.
So you've lost your child, he's been adopted, you have had your parental rights terminated, and then they go, never mind.
She said he was too much for her, and she couldn't take him anymore. He was psychotic, and he was going to kill their child, and he killed chickens, and I was like, I sent my 3-year-old to someone else's home who was safe to take care of him so that I could bring him in my house because he had no place to go because she couldn't take care of him. She said he was out of control. He was out of control. She couldn't handle it.
CPS got involved with the first one and said if he got hurt again, they were going to take the 21-month-old out of the house.
Okay. Why did you take him to her?
I contacted her after 3 days of trying to figure out what to do. We had no more family. We had to separate the 21-month-old, and she had agreed the whole time that she had been seeing these behaviors in Michael.
So you did take him to her because you couldn't handle it?
No, it was a regular visit. He was going that Saturday, and I said, let me think
about it. There is no
it.
regular visit. Your rights were terminated.
Dr. Phil, yes, that's what I'm saying.
There is no, if I need your help, I will come to you right quick.
Yes,
Just hold on.
I apologize.
There is no regular visit. Her rights were terminated.
Yes.
She's no longer in his life. You went to court and terminated her rights. You severed it. You changed the birth certificate. You eliminated her. She was an environmental non-event.
Yeah.
She didn't exist.
You're
There is
right.
no regular visit.
What we had planned and discussed, the 3 of us, and agreed on.
You did that because you couldn't handle him.
No. Nope. I absolutely did not. I did that
You
for
did it
time.
why?
I did that for time to figure out where to get him. I've had so much trouble with therapists not taking him. He's cons people. I'm the devil because I make him,
Isn't that what I just said?
No, I was trying to find somewhere for him or come up with. I had nothing. I was.
Okay, let me rephrase that. You needed help.
Yeah, I needed help.
So you thought.
Yes, I needed help. I was talking to her to get help.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you thought, I will go to the woman whose rights we've had terminated
Yes.
and severed from his
Yes.
life and say, never mind.
Exactly.
I'm really in over my head here.
I don't know how you feel. I mean, this is puzzling. Let's look at some excerpts from Michael's journal. Here's a picture of a car. He says, I miss my mommy so much it hurts. The remainder is difficult to read, frankly. Maybe somebody can interpret it for me. There's a picture of a devil with a peace sign in the face of a devil with a pitchfork. Kim hates me and I'm feeling sad and crying. And the remainder is difficult to read. Maybe, if y'all know his handwriting, Daddy too, he makes my hurt bad. Is this hurt?
I think so.
I think so.
She
Bad?
tells Daddy too. He makes makes me sad.
That was while he was in residential care.
Does she wonder about me or does wonder for
you're
me?
right.
Does she
I
wonder
think so.
for me?
Yeah,
That's about what he says. I wonder if my mom wonders about me or if she wants me.
Can I say that during all this time, I was trying to get in touch with him. Yes, I have made horrible choices, and I was on drugs, and I did, I had done my part that was not good things. But I can assure you that I never forgot about him. I always tried to be in contact with him. They had blocked my phone number. Anytime I would show up at his grandmother's house or at his house, they would, up until I found out that he was adopted by the birth certificate that she'd sent me. That's how I found out.
Well, he's made some comments about this. We can't read his writing, but he's made some comments. Let's take a break. When we come back, he actually speaks about this, and I want to hear what he has to say. We'll hear from him when we come back.
I think Kim has brainwashed my son, Michael.
I absolutely have not been brainwashing my son, Michael.
Kim has told Michael that I'm a bad mom. Kim will accuse Michael of doing things that he didn't do. She accuses him of lying.
Jerica may think that I've been brainwashing her son because Michael will say whatever he thinks somebody wants to hear.
I can't really have a normal life because she keeps putting words in my mouth.
Right. This has had an effect on Michael. When I think about what Kim has done, I feel she is evil and sick.
Well, Kim says she has been so terrified of the violent behavior she observed in her 8-year-old adopted son that she did not want him at home with his baby brother. Now, Kim had CPS come to her house to investigate Michael after he allegedly bruised the baby. She also claims that Michael tried to harm the family dog and that he has killed several chickens. However, when our producers asked Kim if she had any tangible evidence to show that Michael had hurt her son or killed any animals, she admitted that she had no photos or anything to document the alleged abuse. Now, Jerica sent us a video where she questions her son Michael about Kim and her accusations. Let's hear what he has to say.
Kim puts words in my mouth, and I mean, I don't really have any time to say what I really truly have, but because she keeps putting words in my mouth and I can't say anything.
What do you mean by putting words in your mouth, then?
I mean, she puts words in my mouth that I don't, that I admit stuff that I don't do.
Okay, so you're saying you don't admit stuff. You admit stuff that you didn't do because she's leading you to say those things.
Yes, and I mean, I can't really have a normal life because she keeps putting words in my mouth. I mean,
Right. Okay. Well, we're gonna get you help, buddy. We're gonna figure it all out. Okay.
continue on.
Why would he say that?
He was coached in an argument. In an argument, yeah. He's never said that. There is therapy notes I've sent in everything. He's never said that.
Coached by me?
Yes.
Somebody, probably.
Because whenever we showed up, it got into a horrible, horrible argument, and I'm terribly ashamed of that, how that went down. But she said at the time,
I told you.
Michael looked at me and said, "You're manipulative." And I said, I was shocked, and I said, "Why? Why do you think I'm manipulative or
Just like you
manipulating?"
told him that I left him alone by
And she
himself as a
said,
baby, right?
And he looked at her and said, "You told me she was manipulative."
I said, yeah, I did. I did say she was manipulative.
And
Not
so-
to him, but in
and this is
conversation
how
he
he
heard
is. This is how his entire time that I've been with him goes. The adult he's around, he's mimicking, he's saying what they want to hear.
And this child is in the middle
Yes.
of you three.
Yep.
So Cody's question for me is, how can Kim and Jerica get along better?
Wow, okay, so honestly, I don't even know what to think now. His notes that he wrote were heartbreaking. Him saying, I wonder if my mommy ever thinks about me. That is heartbreaking for a young child. He had these negative notes about Kim and his dad, and I find that very interesting. Then we see this video, and Kim and the dad claim that he's been coached. So I don't know if any of you guys have any experience with something like this. I'm not a child psychologist. I don't know exactly how this goes, but it's definitely possible that he was coached. I wouldn't be shocked if he was coached because of the way that Jerica is communicating on stage, and she did admit to saying either to him or in front of him that Kim is manipulative. So it is definitely possible that she's putting a narrative out there and he's picking up on that. I'm still just trying to understand, why is he so violent? Like, when did it start and what initially triggered it? And is it triggered by the mom being a user and then him being separated from her, or is there something else going on here?
I feel like Michael is being used as a pawn, and my son is completely caught in the middle of this. The minute that Kim and I don't get along, or I disagree with something she says, she takes my son from me again.
What Jerica needs to know is if she doesn't learn to control herself, I will refuse to let Michael around her.
I feel like they're trying to punish me, and they're punishing him.
I'll have no choice but to not let Michael be around her because of everything he's been through already.
He's been ripped out of my life multiple times. He's being treated poorly by her, and it's all because I believe she doesn't like me.
The bottom line is, I am Michael's mother, and it's my job to protect him.
I have a family law expert here that I wanted to comment on this. I'd like to introduce family law attorney Atusa Sai. I'm concerned with Atusa, the cavalier nature with which they seem to be disregarding all of this. What do you say about all of this?
To begin with, you guys are all criminals. You guys have no business even being around this child. I don't know which one of you to start with, but I'm sorry that you're having troubles with addiction, but your issues go way deeper, and you have no business being around this child, and you keep saying, I made mistakes. You just made that same mistake again 48 hours ago. I don't think you realize that you're still on drugs. You're not off drugs. You're not clean. You don't deserve to have your rights back. You don't deserve to be around this kid. You can't be a stable person in this child's life until you get it together. To make matters worse, you had another child after you lost Michael, and you still didn't learn your lesson. Every single time something bad happens, you resort to drugs and you make yourself the victim. You're not the victim. You have an addiction problem. And as far as you go, sir, quite frankly, you haven't really been a father, because what she said was telling. She said when you were going through a separation, you knew she was addicted. You knew she was doctor shopping. You knew she was getting meds that she shouldn't have been on. But what did you do? You left Michael in her care, didn't you? You left him in her care, and you went away, and you went on with your life, and it wasn't until you saw needles that you decided to take action. You should have taken action way before that, even if it was an inconvenience, because you're the dad. You are a father. You have absolute moral obligations to this child. You don't leave your child in the care of an addict until it gets so bad that you're afraid he's going to reach for needles. And ma'am, quite frankly, you took on the responsibility of caring for this child. This isn't a pet you take back to the pound. You don't take your pet back like behavioral issues.
I was trying to keep him out of state custody because they were going to take him to get him somewhere to stay.
You had no business returning that kid back to her knowing she's an addict. That's absolute negligence. It's negligent. None of you have, for one moment, spoken about the best interest of this child. All I hear is me, 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 me. He said, she said, he said, she said. Which one of you has ever said, this is about Michael?
Both of us.
No, not really.
Yeah, we have.
Not really. Because all I heard was, I'm overwhelmed, I didn't know what to do, I called CPS, I had nobody else to take care of him, and you, well, I really don't know what to do, I just thought I can't handle it, so maybe Kim could.
If this gets embroiled in a court battle, that is exactly the attitude the court is going to take about this.
Yeah.
So, listen, I'm trained in forensic psychology. I've been called on by the courts to come in and evaluate the fitness of a parent. And what people don't understand, when a forensic psychologist gets called in to determine fitness of a parent, it's not a horse race. They don't come in and say, who's the most fit? The question is anybody fit? Everybody can fall short of the standard, and nobody can wind up with custody of the child. It's not like you're better than her and you're better than him, so somebody wins. It can be that nobody's fit, and you can wind up with all of these children becoming wards of the state and wind up in a very broken foster care system. That is not what you want. You know, I saw a picture, I brought it. This is what it takes. I mean, think about it. This is this child. And you're trying to push this rock up a hill. You're trying to pull this rock up a hill. And if any one person drops the rope, any one person slips, what do you think happens? That's what happens. It takes every one of you pushing and pulling in the same direction. You let one person stop, and this child falls apart. I can't find anyone here that seems to have a healthy agenda that puts this child first. Every one of you must be a fiduciary for this child. It means you put that child's interest above your own. And no one is doing that. No one is doing that. We need very specialized plan here. You say you don't know if you want to co-parent here. You've reintroduced her to this situation.
Yeah.
So somebody with a clear and calm perspective needs to get involved and work out some orderly progression here. And you need to stop using words like serial killer in describing this child.
Okay.
That is sensationalistic, catastrophic thinking, and woefully inappropriate.
Okay.
The chances of that happening are about 1 in 100 million. So let's not get...
Okay.
Come on. There needs to be a plan here, a family plan, a life plan. Let me tell you, this is not a Michael problem. This is a family problem. And I am going to get you some very specialized care.
Thank you.
And you need to listen. We need to not have an 8-year-old making decisions here. We need to not be deciding we're going to run our own agenda and fighting among one another. We need to get a very specialized professional in here to make a family plan and do what needs to be done for this child's best interest. And let me tell you, every situation needs a hero. Dad, let it be you.
Okay.
Dad to dad, let it be you.
Okay.
Step up here, man up here, and do what you have to do for your boy.
Okay.
I don't think any of you people are evil. I just think you have got a very immature agenda, and it needs to grow up very fast. Okay. So I'm going to get you the help.
Okay, so in this episode, we have Jerica, who lost custody of her son because she is an addict, and her ex-husband and his new wife, Kim, have taken custody and they've adopted the son. But his behavior is out of control and alarming, and he seems to be manipulative, pathologically lying, and has harmed his young 21-month-old brother. And they were concerned he might become a serial killer. Okay, so first of all I can say about this family law attorney is, damn, she did not pull any punches. She came right out and said exactly what was happening. I have not seen her on any of these other episodes of the show, but I would love to see more of her. Honestly, they could use her for every episode, and that would be great, because she really just stated exactly what probably all of us were thinking. All of them are failing this child, not because they're bad people, but yeah, the mom, Jerica, is still an addict. She just relapsed. And it does seem like she relapsed after her son was given to her and then taken from her. But you can't say that you are a recovered addict if you relapse every time something big happens to you. Like every time you have a crisis or you're hurt or you're afraid or something, you relapse. That means that you still are not capable of having custody of your child or even visitation in this case. I agree with Dr. Phil that they basically said, we can't handle this. He's too much for us. We're going to give him back to Jerica. You know, Kim didn't want to admit to that because she's playing semantics. She didn't want to say he was too much to handle, but she agreed that, yes, we needed help. Well, girl, what do you think that means? What does that mean to you? It's absolutely wild to me that if they're so afraid of Jerica being an addict and not being able to safely be in this child's life to the point that they completely terminated her rights, it's wild to me that they would then send the child back to her when his behavior is too aggressive. If she couldn't handle him when his behavior was like normal, why would she be able to handle him now when his behavior is frightening you? It is great that the dad removed him from Jerica's care when he discovered contraband, but this family law attorney was also right when she said, what were you doing when you knew she had addiction issues for years? You waited until years. So yeah, all of them have some blame in this. We still don't know why this child is so angry. We still don't know what's up with him being manipulative and conning people, and they say he's the perfect child in therapy, but it's not real, it's not authentic. What the hell does that mean? I don't know. If any of you guys have any experience with something like this, please feel free to put it in the comments and explain what knowledge you might have, what experience you might have working with kids like this, working with families like this. But what did you guys think about this episode? What do you think about Jerica as a mom? Do you think she should be in his life again right now? Do you think it was a mistake for them to send him to her place? Even in the tape, in one of the tape parts, Kim was talking about, you know, we'll see if we can have her in his life. Girl, you terminated custody. Like, you did not want her in his life. They did not want her in his life. So it's just very strange to me that now they're talking about maybe, even though she just relapsed again. I don't, it doesn't make sense to me. But do you guys think that Jerica should have some visitation at least or something like that? And especially because he's writing notes talking about, does my mommy think of me? You know, it's tough. What do you think about Kim and the dad? Do you think that they have responsibility in this? Do you think that really he was just too much for them to handle and they wanted to, you know, put him onto Jerica's shoulders? What is up with the dad taking years to remove the child from the care of an addict? And apparently he was gone during those first few years. So he just disappeared and abandoned the son to be with an addict. It's weird to me, but you guys let me know what you think about this. Drop it in the comments.